Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Chaska Community Center Ice Arena for boys high school hockey. Tonight, the Chaska Hawks JV returns to home ice as they square off against a familiar Metro West opponent, the St. Louis Park Orioles. This group brings a balanced offensive attack led by sophomore Breckenbrink, who tops the team in scoring, and sophomore Marco Tobin, one of Chaska's most consistent finishers. Junior Jacob Thormasgaard has been a difference maker up front as well, and he'll be a name to watch tonight after his standout performance in the last meeting with St. Louis Park. That matchup came at the St. Louis Park Rec Center, where the Hawks earned a 5-2 road victory. Thormasgaard scored twice to lead the way, with Chaska jumping out early and setting the tone with pace and pressure. Hawks goalie Max Minigan made his season debut and held the Orioles to 2 goals, and Nolan Winnings came in the game as relief and held the Orioles scoreless. Back on home ice tonight, the Hawks look to carry that same energy, establish their offense early, and make it difficult for the Orioles from the opening faceoff. Puck drop is coming up next. Hawks and Orioles from Chaska. Here we go, folks, for the opening face-off. Face-off by Sorensen over to Tobin. Tobin dumps it deep into the zone. Puck turns aside, chipped out front. Greer steps up. This is going to be offside, so it'll be delayed. Hawks are going to have to reset. Long pass across ice over to Neudecker. Neudecker turns. Tries to push it back to the defender. Hansen keeps the puck in the zone. Back to Neudecker, back in the corner. Picked up behind the net. Dumped around. Buck tries to bring it through. Can't quite get through. Tobin can't quite get the puck out. Shot on net. Good save there by Nathan Brandt. Puck picked up. Exited the zone. Sorensen over to Tobin. Tobin dumps it deep. Hawks looking to get a line change. Puck picked up here behind the net by Hudik. Hudik tries to cut to the middle. Fans on the pass. Still manages to complete it. Up to Brust. Shots just wide. Picked up by Hogan in the corner. Hogan brings it around. Good steal there by Herman. Up to Wacker. Kept in. Dump towards the net. Chip just wide. Tyson Herman picks up the puck behind the net over to Owen Sumstead. Cooper Swanson picks it up on the near boards. Good defensive effort there by Newton to chip the puck free, preventing the rush. Picked up here by Hogan as he turns. Tries to dump it into the corner. Hogan turns. Looks for some support in the middle. Tries to pass through. Shots there. Good shot on net by Runyon. Turned aside by Brandt. Puck stumped all the way out. Hogan tips it. As they bring it down here. Turn into the corner. Fires. This goes all the way back. This will be icing. With 14:47 remaining here in the first period. Score tied 0-0. Face off deep in the zone here. Puck chipped down. Young with a good pinch to keep the puck in. Erickson turns, fires it back to Young. Young on the far side. Takes a shot towards the net, deflected there. Turn, Young over to Willis. Willis, cross ice past Erickson, can't quite connect the pass. Willis back in the corner. Yeah, well, yes. Face off deep in the Hawk zone, picked up here by Berquist. Berquist over to Hansen. Hansen dumps it deep. Puck on the far side, chipped in. Young tries to bat it out of the air. Picked up behind the net. Good play by Hudik as he tries to work it around the near boards. Up to the point, shot towards the slot, towards the net, missed just wide. Good step up there by Hansen. Willis, good play up to Schwartz. Schwartz exits the zone. He's got Erickson rushing down. This will be icing. .19 remaining here in the first period. Face off here. Sorensen matched up with Bowl. Hawks come away with the puck. Marco Tobin clears the zone. Picked up by Greer. Greer chips it in. The Orioles try to chip it through. It's tipped right up into the bench. It'll be a stoppage in play with 14:03 remaining here in the first period. Face off deep in the Hawks' offensive zone. Chipped out. Dumped all the way down. This is picked up by Grishevsky as he chips it forward over to Sorensen. Can't quite connect the pass. Through the middle. Grishevsky picks it up. Backhands it. Can't quite get free of Hogan. Hogan takes it deep behind the goal line. Swanson there for some support. Shot from the point. It's just wide. Puck's tipped up and around. Greer. Good outlet pass over to Sorensen. Sorensen's got Tobin on the far side. He's got Thormesgaard breaking loose on the inside. Shot just off. Nice save there by the Orioles goaltender. We don't have the goaltender's name, folks, so I apologize for it. We'll just call him the Orioles goaltender. Grishevsky picks it up on the near side. Dump deep. Orioles look to break out, but good intercept there by Thormesgaard to keep the puck deep in the zone. Good offensive pressure here. Picked up. This is Hagen. Clears the zone. Hallman back for return. Picked up by Sorensen. Sorensen's got Owen Sumstead. Can't quite connect on the pass. Puck's back to Hallman. Hallman over to Sumstead. Sumstead dumps it across. He's got Wacker moving in deep. This will be icing. So far the Hawks starting to put some offensive pressure. They're being held to the perimeter, but good offensive zone time. Cooper Swanson will step into the face-off circle with Hudson Bowl. Hawks control after the face-off. Wrap it around. Picked up by Wacker on the far side. Wacker over to Swanson. Good body check. Hallman works it over to Herman. Picked up on the near boards. Battle between Sumstead. Works the puck over to Piper. Piper from the point. Deflected, good play by Hallman to stop the shot on its way. Here's Hudik, turns. Can't get the shot off. Puck's in front, good tip. Brandt with a nice save. That's a really good play by Hudik to get the tip on net. Brandt with a good glove save. Here's Piper as he turns. Tries to lose Wacker. Long outlet pass. The Orioles clear the zone with ease. Here's Hudik as he brings it back in. Looks, fires. Brandt with the save. Tipped up into the netting. That'll be a stoppage in play with 11:27 remaining here in the first period. That was a great save. Great glove save. Gieske steps into the face-off circle. Opposite of Brust. Puck's out to the point. Good shot, deflected there by Jake Highland. Bergquist tried to thread it through the needle. Good play by Highland to create the tip. Willis steps up, puts the puck on net, tipped up high off the glass. Good save by the Orioles goaltender. Bergquist chips it up, tries to connect with Hogan, can't quite do so. Puck cleared by Tobin in a foot race with Hansen. Hansen with a sharp cut behind the net. Tries to clear the zone. Hogan picks up the pace. On the far side, Young on a good back check. This looks like this is going to be a penalty on Chaska's number 40, Shane Willis. 2 minutes for tripping at 10:41 remaining here in the first period. Not a bad penalty to take as Hogan was busting his way around the far side. Hudson Bowl steps into the face-off opposite of Jacob Dormisgaard. This will be the first power play opportunity by the Orioles.
Chaska penalty number 40, Shane Willis. 2 minutes for tripping.
The Orioles try to establish their same. Bergquist from the point, turns. Here's Hudik, fires high and wide. Dormisgaard picks it up, bouncing puck, saved at the point by Bergquist. Over to Hudik, into the middle. Good defensive effort there by Herman. Tobin managed to win the puck battle on the near side. Chips it all the way down. 1:30 remaining in the Orioles power play. Neudecker turns. Looks to gain the zone with speed. Works his way around. Fires it towards the net. Brandt there with a save with 9:55 remaining in the first period and 1:15 remaining in the Chaska penalty. The Hawks defense has been pretty solid in forcing the Orioles on the perimeter. Not allowing for any good high-quality shots so far. This is Bruce, steps into the face-off circle, opposite of Sorensen. Puck controlled by the Orioles on the near side. Here's Hansen as he turns. Takes it back to the point. Here's Newton, tries to dump it back down to Hogan. Hogan picks up the puck behind the net, turns, fires it out front, can't quite connect. There's a good pass to Runyon. Runyon just couldn't connect on the one-timer. Piper picks up the puck on the far side. Good forecheck pressure by Sorensen. This looks like it's going to be a penalty on Sorensen for tripping. 39 seconds remaining in the current Chaska penalty. Hogan brings it in. Good defensive effort there by Gershevsky. Stoppage in play. This will give the Orioles a 5-on-3 opportunity for the next 31 seconds. One thing the Hawks need to be careful of is in games where the other team has jumped out to a lead, it's hard for the Hawks to climb back in it. They're going to need to successfully kill this penalty. Oh, the puck is right behind Brandt. Brandt! It's a goal. Power play opportunity. Shot from the point. That'll be a goal by Michael Hudik. At 9:02 remaining. The Orioles will still have a 5-on-4 opportunity for the next minute 50 seconds as that goal effectively eliminates the first penalty by the Hawks. 1:41 remaining in the second power play opportunity here by the Orioles as they're 1-for-1 so far. Picked up on the near side by Hudik as he forces across ice. Puck's chipped around Bowl chips it around Young into the corner. Puck's brought up to the point. Hansen looks,
St. Louis Park power play goal from number 27.
Over to Bergquist.
Unassisted.
Back right here, Hudek with a shot. Good glove save there by Brandt. 8:23 remaining here in the first period. Orioles with a 1-0 lead. As I was mentioning just before the Orioles goal, the Hawks have struggled this year. Once they're down, it's hard for them to get back into the game. They need to make sure they keep this game tight, successfully kill this penalty. Puck's chipped into the corner. Herman tries to clear the zone, can't quite do so. Tobin picks it up, high off the glass, manages to do so with 56 remaining here in the first period. 56 remaining in the penalty. Puck's picked up by Hansen as he turns. Moves the puck crossed over to Hogan. Hogan, as he turns, is met by Hallman. Hallman, good defensive effort, forces the play wide. Picked up on the near boards. This is Brust as he works his way back out to Bergquist. Bergquist. Shot goes off the side of the net. Brandt there for the save with 25 seconds remaining in the Orioles' power play opportunity. .737 remaining here in the first period. Tobin steps in the face-off circle with Brust. Controlled by the Orioles. Puck's back out to the point. Piper. He looks. Moves it back over to Newton. Newton looks. Good defensive effort there by Tobin. Hogan was in front with a nice tip. Good play there by Tobin to clear the puck out of the zone. It's brought all the way down. Piper turns, stops. Thormesgaard with good offensive pressure. Here's Brust as he brings it across. Good intercept there by Sorensen right out of the box. Fires it on net. Good blocker save there by the Orioles goaltender. Good high quality opportunity. Puck's brought in. That's Greer. From the point, puts the shot on net. With 6:54 remaining here in the first period, the Orioles with a 1-0 lead. Cooper Swanson steps into the face-off circle. Face-off controlled by the Orioles as they look to work their way deep into the zone. Dumped in Gershevsky back, pick up the puck behind the net. The Orioles try to converge. Good play by Gershevsky for the defensive steal. Puck's wrapped around on the near side. Sumstead moves into the corner for a puck battle. Gershevsky again, good defensive presence there. Orioles reverse course. They're looking for something out front. Can't quite do it. Connect. Here's Newton as he dumps it back deep. Chips it out front and it's chipped into the net. Newton dumped it down to Fallness. Fallness with the goal.
Hey, Hawks, let's go, boys!
It was an even strength goal at 6:07 remaining here in the first period. Off the face-off, the Orioles maintain control. Picked up here in the neutral zone by Hansen. Hansen turns, works his way over. Shot fired there by Hudek. Hansen turns, fires it towards the net, tipped. Brandt with the save. Young picks up the puck, moves it across to Schwartz. Orioles maintain the effort through the neutral zone. They pick up the loose puck. Dumped in deep on Brandt. Brandt with the glove save with 5:25 remaining here in the first period. Orioles have jumped out to 2 goals here in this first period. First being a power play opportunity. Immediately put the Hawks back in defensive position on their heels. Couldn't Couldn't quite clear the first penalty, but the second one they did successfully. So the Orioles stand 1 for 2 now on the power play. Puck's in front. Tyson Herman picks up the pass, tries to get out to Thormesgaard. Intercepted in the neutral zone by the Orioles as they dump it deep. Herman. Orioles pick up the puck on a bad bounce. Up to the point. Shot from the point. Tipped wide. Good play by Sorensen there to tip it wide. Hansen tries to keep the puck in the zone. Chip forward. It's foot race with Sorensen. Good play there by Bergquist trying to get it out, but Sorensen manages to keep it back in. Bergquist turns. Tries to get it to Hogan. Intercepted by Tobin. Tobin back to Sorensen. Puck reversed to Brust. Brust tries to clear the puck out. Good play by Thormesgaard to create the pressure. Herman. After the puck clearing. Brust with offensive pressure. Over to Hallman. Hallman fans on the pass to Tobin. Picked up in the neutral zone. Unencumbered shot. Great save there by Brandt on a point-blank shot. There by Runyon. Orioles work along the far boards. Here's Hogan as he turns back, tries to center the pass in, intercepted by Sorensen. Sorensen over to Tobin, picked up by Herman. Herman tries to chip it free, just can't quite get it past. He had Sorensen behind the defender. Puck's brought in by Newton, stood up there by Tobin. Thormesgaard cuts towards the middle as he picks up the puck deep in the neutral zone, in the defensive zone. Lucas Greer picks up the puck in the neutral zone, fires it on net. Saved there by the Orioles goalie, a little loose, but then called. 3:38 remaining here in the first period. Face-off by Bowl against Swanson. Swanson with face-off win. Puck's intercepted as it's passed across by Greer. Picked up here by Hudik as he cuts in, tries to get on the 2-0. Great save by Brandt. Brandt's big frame was able to sprawl across the crease and put the great kick save. On the 2-on-1 play, Brandt with a fantastic save. Hudik picks up the puck high in the slot area, picked up by Grzeski, turns, reverses course, chips it out, nobody there for the Hawks to pick up the puck. Dump back deep, here's Hudik as he chips it towards the net. Brandt turns around, another great save. Stoppage and play with 2:56 remaining here in the first period. That was a fantastic save. Yeah, fantastic save. 2-on-0, Brandt sprawled all the way across, made a fantastic save there. Gieske steps into the face-off circle. Schwartz picks up the puck, clears the zone. Puck's dumped deep in the zone by the Orioles, picked up on the near side by Willis. Over to Hallman. Hallman tips it out of the zone. Good play by Schwartz. Ties up Piper behind the net. Good play by Willis to step up, keep the puck in the zone. Puck along the near battle, over to Hyland. Hyland fires it towards the net, tipped wide by the goaltender. Puck's chipped up high. Young with a good stop to keep the puck in the zone as he continues his effort. Good play as he takes it deep. This is picked up here by Hagen as he dumps it towards the net. Brandt there, turns it aside. Hard pass right up the middle, actually clears the zone. Bergquist back, tipped into the deep into the offensive or defensive zone for the Hawks. Hawks quick try to get it out of the zone during a line change by the Orioles. They do so. Hawks look to set up in their offensive zone as they turn towards the slot. Picked up by Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard can't quite connect the pass over to Tobin. Good play there by Bergquist to keep the puck in the zone. Picked up deep by Willis. Willis moves around the corner. Gets some help from Sorensen. Can't clear the zone. Here's Hogan as he turns. Intercepted by Thormesgaard. Puck fired all the way down, tipped. 1:10 remaining here in the first period. Good play by Hallman. Work his way around the net. Gets in the skates of his teammate. Thormsgaard tries to chip it loose, just can't quite do so. Bergquist there. Tobin turns. Lost. Here's Runyon as he fires it towards the net. Tipped wide. Willis to Tobin. Tobin clears the zone. Picked up here by Runyon as he turns. Hallman on the far side. Over to Sorensen. Sorensen tips it out to the neutral area. Doesn't connect. Here's picked up by Hogan as he works his way around Willis. Fires it on net. Puck's loose in front. Brandt sprawls across, manages to make a good glove save. Sully Hogan with a great move to the far side for the Orioles. Put a good shot right on net. Brandt got a piece of it, fired right up in the air. That left end, puck loose on the far side. Brandt was able to leap across the zone to be able to cover that loose puck. Off the face-off, the Hawks control the puck. Hallman. Puck battle with Swanson. Swanson comes away with it. Tries to center it. They clear the zone. That'll be offsides on the Hawks with 4.8 seconds remaining here in the first period. Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Face-off controlled by the Hawks as they work it around. 1 second remaining here in the period. And that'll conclude our effort here in the first period. Summary of the first period is the Orioles got off to a quick start at 9:02 into the first period. Michael Hudek scored a power play opportunity on a 5-on-3. Just enough time remaining in that first period where it was able to eliminate the first penalty by the Hawks, but not the second. Hawks were able to manage to kill that second penalty, leaving the Orioles 1 for 2 on the power play. At the end of that period, the Orioles lead 2-0 on 15 shots on net. Brandt with 13 of 15 saves. The Orioles goalie faced 5 shots, saving all 5. Good offensive push there by the Orioles for the second half of that period, creating undue pressure. Hawks did a fine job trying to keep the puck around the perimeter, but a couple good opportunities by the Orioles there managed to capitalize. With that, we'll go to intermission. We'll be back for the second period. Welcome back, everybody, as we prepare for the second period. Real quick summary of the first period. Michael Hudak for the St. Louis Park Orioles scored at 9:02 remaining in the first period on a power play goal. Then his teammate Braden Fallness followed up with a goal at 6:07 remaining on an even strength goal with the assist to James Newton. 2 penalties in that first period by the Chaska Hawks. One by Shane Willis at 10:41 for tripping. That was where the power play goal was scored there by Hudak. Then the Hawks followed up with another penalty at 9:12 from Luke Sorensen for tripping. The Orioles did not have a penalty in that first period. Players are over at the benches trying to get their final coaching. Referees are taking the center dot. Let's get ready for second period action. Nathan Brandt in net for the Hawks has done outstanding so far, turning away 13 of 15 shots. The St. Louis Park Orioles goaltender has turned away 5 of 5. Been solid in the effort. Luke Sorensen steps into the face-off circle. Opposite of Brust. Thormasgaard tries to dump it deep. Good stop there by the Orioles, preventing the entry. Picked up in the neutral zone. Brought in by Sorensen. Shot high off the net by Tobin. Just misses the net. Puck kept in by Greer on the near side. Dumped down into the corner. Puck battle here. Brust tries to come away with it. This is picked up by Fallness. Here's Runyon. This will be offsides with 14:24 remaining here in the second period. Hawks looking to try to get back on the board as a replay of the first game they played this year. Orioles jumped out to the first lead. The Hawks stormed their way back. Hawks looking to do the same again tonight. Picked up, dumped in by Runyon all the way down. Picked up behind the net by Herman. Herman turns. Good play there by Tobin. Chips it free to Sorensen. Sorensen clears the zone. Picked up on the far side by Runyon. Runyon turns. Good outlet pass. Clean exit. Here's Hogan as he turns towards the net. Hogan centers the pass right in front. Brandt. Good play there by Brust. But Brust tipped it wide. Brandt was there. Sorensen reverses course over to Herman. Herman up to Tobin. They clear the zone. Here's Piper. As he turns, Piper looks. No pressure, so he starts to bring up the ice. Steps, side steps. Cooper Swanson brings it deep. Shane Willis back, pick up the puck. Puck steal behind the net. Here's Powell. Powell picks it up behind the net. Puck's chipped loose. It's a foot race with Brody Erickson. Bergquist back. Forecheck pressure there by Sumstead. Forces the reversal. Young steps up on the near side. The Orioles managed to get the clear. Willis with a good defensive effort. Pushes the puck aside. Puck out to the front corner, up to the point. Bergquist with a shot. Just wide. Puck kept in, fired. Toe saved by Brandt. Young over to Sumstead. Sumstead wraps it back around. Picked up on the near side by Erickson. Puck battle in the corner. Erickson comes away with it from the point. Tip over to Young, over to Erickson. Erickson high off the glass. It's a bouncing puck. This will be offsides. With 12:15 remaining here in the second period. So far, back and forth action here in the second period. Schwartz steps into the face-off circle, opposite of Hagen. Greer comes away with it, dumps it in the neutral zone. Orioles dump it down deep into their offensive zone. Picked up by Gershevsky behind the net. Gershevsky avoids a check. Over to Wacker. Good give and go play there by Wacker to Gershevsky. Gershevsky picks it up. Far side over to Highland. Intercepted there by Newton. Newton brings it around. Maintains pressure. Good play by Greer to cause the stop. Forces it back deep. Here's Hagen. Turns. Cuts in front. Good pressure there by Schwartz. Caused the turnover. Back out to Greer. Greer fires from the point. It's wide. Gershevsky picks it up on the far side. Wraps it in. Bounce off the glass. It's a bouncing puck. Puck still loose behind the net. Orioles look to try to clear the zone. Can't quite do so. Highland there with a good steal. In the corner with Schwartz. Good play there by Piper. Intercept. Stolen. Up to the point by Gershevsky. Gershevsky with a shot. Tipped just wide by Highland. Picked up on the near side by Greer. Puck's chipped loose. Puck's brought all the way down. Shot wide. The Orioles will have to go ahead and retreat. Good body check there by Greer. Picked up by Bergquist. Bergquist cuts towards the slot. Looks nice backhand pass. Great pass over to Brust. Brust got the shot off, but it was just wide. Puck right out front to Fallness. Runyon picks up the puck in front. Thormasgaard turns. Chips it in. Hawks need a line change. Tobin picks up the puck behind the net. Good sidestep there of Brust. Here's Runyon. Runyon turns. Long outlet pass over to Hogan. Hogan clears the zone as he works his way in. Good defensive pressure there by Tyson Herman. Orioles manage to maintain the puck in the zone. Hogan looks at the top of the slot. He's looking for some support. Out to the point. Can't quite get it to Bergquist. Good forecheck pressure there in the neutral zone by the Hawks. Create the turnover. Hawks force the Orioles back into a play. Shot on net there. Good save there by Brandt. Herman in the corner. Up the boards. Kept in. Good play by Newton as he fires it towards the net. Good save there by Brandt. This looks like it's going to be a penalty. At 9:27 remaining here in the second period. This will be another Chaska penalty. Looks like this is going to be interference by number 6, Tyson Herman. The Orioles are 1 for 2 on the power play opportunity today. Puck's worked out to the point. Shot by Piper, saved by Brandt.
Chaska penalty number 6, Tyson Herman, 2 minutes for interference. Herman, 2 minutes for interference.
Face off by Swanson. Controlled by the Orioles as they work their way around. As they look. Puck's out front to Fallness. Fallness with a shot on net. Rebound. Puck's still loose on the far side. Puck's brought back out to the point. Here's Piper. Piper looks. Dumps it back along near boards. As he turns, fires it towards the net. Intercepted in the middle. Picked up there by Sumstead as he managed to clear the zone. Piper behind the St. Louis Park net. Swanson puts pressure as they work their way across. Here's Hogan. Hogan cuts to the outside. Good play there by Willis to force him wide. Bergquist tries to clear it back over to the defender, forcing the Orioles to exit the zone, have to reset. Bergquist turns, wraps it over to Hogan. Hogan cuts through the neutral area. Puck along the boards. Picked up here. Bergquist, along the far boards, tries to dump it through the middle. Young there, intercepts, dumps it all the way down. 45 seconds remaining on the Chaska penalty. Puck's turned by Piper. Piper works his way into the neutral zone as he tries to work his way wide. Leaves it for the point. Back to Piper. Over to Hogan. Hogan behind the net. Back to Piper. Over to Bergquist. Bergquist dumps it deep. Intercepted by Gershewski. Chips it high. This will go into the St. Louis Park bench. With 7:42 remaining here in the second period. 15 seconds remaining on the Chaska penalty. Hawks have done a fine job limiting the opportunities on net during this power play. Face off by Hagen. Won by Thormasgaard as he dumps it all the way down. 8 seconds remaining on the Chaska penalty. St. Louis Park player loses his footing in the corner. Tipped up. Lucas Greer chips it all the way back down. That'll end the Hawks penalty.
Chaska, full strength.
Good play by Brody Erickson on the near side to go ahead and intercept. It's tipped all the way around to the far side. Here's Newton. Clears it all the way down. This will be icing by the Orioles. Nope, called off. Greer picks up the puck, fires it around, clears the zone. Dumped back in. Gershewski picks it up, works his way towards the neutral zone. Creates speed with the rush over to Thormasgaard. Can't quite connect. Wacker dumps it deep. Picked up here behind the net by Newton. Newton works his way towards the point. Picked up by Lucas Greer. Lucas Greer picks it up in the slot, fires. Tipped just wide by Gieske. Greer can't keep the puck in the zone. This will create a 2-on-1 opportunity. Tyson Herman back. Pass is fired up. Good tip there by Herman. Brandt with a nice save. Smart play as Merrick Tasto was coming down and he had Hagen on the far side. Good defensive effort there by Herman to get the tip. Brandt there for the save. Face off by Gieske, controlled by the Orioles. Puck reversed on the far side. Picked up, Herman. Orioles control the puck deep below the goal line. Here's Powell. Hawks can't clear the zone. It's kept in. Intercepted by Gieske, just right off in his skates. Couldn't quite get momentum to get the one-on-one. Picked up by Bergquist on the far side. Strong cut back from Highland. Steps aside. Steps through Gieske. Works his way into the slot. Gieske creates the turnover. Gieske with another check. Picked up by Bergquist at the point. He fires. Brandt with a blocker save. It's right on top of the net. Hogan works his way behind the net. Back out front with a nice quick pass. Quick shot by Piper. This will be a tripping on Colton Wacker. As Hogan tried to make a cut, Wacker's stick got inadvertently in his skates. Bergquist cuts to the middle. Good play by Herman there. This will be the fourth power play opportunity here for the Orioles. Yep. Pretty easy with Colton Wacker. As Hogan made a strong cut, Wacker's stick was trying to chip the puck away.
Wacker, 2 minutes for tripping.
Face off with Sorensen and Brust. Puck controlled by the Hawks. Tipped out front. Orioles look to establish zone around the perimeter. Bergquist dumps it towards the middle. Intercepted by Thormasgaard. Dumped all the way down. Thormasgaard with the intercept. Is all alone as 4 Orioles retreat. Leaving Hogan all the way down for the home run. Puck tipped up by Brust. Brust works his way around. Young with the slash. No call by the referees. Young picks up the puck behind the net. Thormasgaard sidesteps a check, manages to work his way. Puck dumps it all the way down. 1:13 remaining in the penalty by the Hawks. Picked up here by Newton. Good intercept there. Good effort by Sorensen. Can't quite come away with it. Puck's chipped all the way down by Brust. Brust tries to cut towards the middle. Play right over by Hogan. Picked up by Young. Young wraps it high up and out of the zone. 52 seconds remaining in the Chaska penalty. Puck's brought across the middle. Willis picks it up. Straight up pass to Thormasgaard. Just can't quite control the pass. Would have left him alone for and he scores! What a great play! Willis dumped the pass up to Thormasgaard. Thormasgaard couldn't quite contain it. The goaltender came out of the net trying to clear the puck. Thormasgaard stole and pushed it just wide. Great play by Thormasgaard to keep the effort moving forward. 3:44, it's a shorthanded goal. Great individual effort, effort there by Thormasgaard. With 3:44 remaining in the second period, 36 seconds remaining in the Chaska penalty. The Hawks cut the lead in half. Puck along the near boards. Good battle by Cooper Swanson. Swanson smartly keeps the puck. Stalls. Dumped all the way down, 15 seconds. Bergquist picks up the puck behind the net. Wraps it up. Puck's dumped deep in by Hagen. Grashevsky picks it up down below the goal line. Tobin, Grashevsky. That'll be the end of the Chaska penalty. Greer, Swanson battle on the far boards. Puck's not quite cleared by the Hawks. Back in the neutral zone. There's Bergquist. Bergquist with a shot. And he scores on a beautiful backhand. Individual effort, Bergquist picked up the puck in the slot area, worked around the defender, managed to get a nice backhand off. Managed to squeak right through the blocker. .242 remaining here in the second period. The Orioles regain a 2-1 or a 2-goal lead.
Scoring for St. Louis Spark, number 4, Isaac Bergquist, unassisted. Bergquist unassisted.
Hawks maintain the puck. Turn, Tyson Herman turns. Fires the puck, clears the zone. Chipped back in. Hallman picks up the puck behind the net. Puck's cleared. Piper dumps it over to Swanson. Swanson can't get it deep enough. Bouncing puck, Hallman stops it in the neutral zone. Picked up by Brust. Brust turns. Cuts across towards the middle. They had to watch out for a big check from Sumstead. Here's Hogan. Hogan makes a nice move into the corner. Back out to Piper. Piper shot. Brandt there with a save. Puck's loose. Good follow-up play there by Runyon. Puck's chipped loose there again. Rebound. Orioles doing a fine job getting that second effort. Hawks having a hard time clearing the zone. Puck bounces loose. They desperately need a line change with 1:11 remaining here in the second period. Orioles bring it back in. They fire it on net. Brandt with a save. Hawks will get that change that they desperately needed. 1:04 remaining here in that second period. Good offensive pressure here. The Orioles have really expanded on their offensive effort here in the second period with 14 shots to Chaska's 3. Gieske steps in, controlled by the Orioles. They dump it deep. Willis picks up the puck behind the net. Brings it out wide. Shot from the point. Just wide. Wacker back to Young. Young steps up. Wacker chips it loose. The Orioles dump it deep. Off the side of the net. Young reverses course over to Willis. Willis, good play up to Schwartz. Schwartz is able to clear the zone. Gieske picks it up, dumps it down. 31 seconds remaining here in the second period. Good forecheck pressure here by Gieske. Can't quite come away with it. The Orioles getting good, easy exits from the zone. Willis turns, back up to Schwartz. Schwartz tries to center. Picked up by Hogan. Hogan with a shot, just wide. Puck kept in, dumped down. 2 seconds remaining here in the period. That'll end it. Once again, strong offensive effort here by the Orioles in the second period. They led off, Jacob Thormesgaard led off the scoring here in the second period at 3:44, scoring a short-handed goal with the assist from Shane Willis. Bergquist followed that up 1 minute later with an even strength goal that was unassisted on a good individual effort as he worked his way toward the center of the net, managed to get that shot off. Nathan Brandt has saved 26 of 29 shots. The Orioles goalie has saved 7 of 8 shots. 2 penalties in that second period, one by Tyson Herman at 9:30 in the period, remaining in the period for interference. That led to Jacob Thormesgaard, shorthanded goal, and then Colton Wacker for the Hawks also picked up at 5:06 remaining, a tripping call, where the Hawks successfully killed that penalty. Good play back and forth. The Orioles dominated the offensive action. The Hawks will be looking to try to get on the board quickly in that third period to try to cut that lead. And historically, they've played solid in the third period. So we look forward to more action here in the third period. We'll see you in a short bit. Welcome back, everybody, as the players take the ice. As a real quick recap, the Orioles have a 3-1 lead on a 1 goal in the first period, taking a 1-0 lead on Michael Hudek, followed up by Braden Fallness, scored early in the second period, giving the Orioles a 2-0 lead when it was followed up by a Jacob Thormasgaard Hawks goal at 3:44 remaining on a short-handed effort, only to finish the period with Isaac Bergquist, scoring for the Orioles with 2:42 remaining. 2 penalties in the first period by the Chaska Hawks, 2 penalties in the second period by the Chaska Hawks. The Orioles have capitalized on 1 of 4 of those opportunities. The Hawks will look to stay out of the box, try to jump on the scoreboard early to build that momentum. They've typically been a third period team, so they look to get on that board and start to continue some offensive pressure. Shots on net, so far a total of 29 by the Orioles, leaving 26 saves by Nathan Brandt. On the opposite side, the Hawks have 8 shots on net. The goaltender for the Orioles has 7 of 8 saves. So clearly the offensive output has been focused on the Orioles, and the Hawks will try to reverse that trend and capitalize on good opportunities here in the third period. Players taking their final coaching, stepping into the face-off circle. Hudson Bowl. Sean Brust will step into the face-off circle opposite of Luke Sorensen. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Orioles come away with control as they work the puck around. Over to Hogan. Hogan loses it. Back to Herman. Hallman works his way, clears the zone. As they chip it all the way down, this will be icing on the Hawks. Hawks will have to play a little bit stronger through the neutral zone. Leading up to this point, too many turnovers have created opportunities for the Orioles. Luke Sorensen steps into the face-off circle opposite of Rust. Puck controlled and shot and scored. 14:35 remaining. That was a great play right off the bat. Runyon picked up the puck on the loose puck from Brust on the face-off, put it right up past Nathan Brandt's shoulder. Hawks really have to figure out how to get some offensive pressure here on the board. At risk of losing control of this game here. Good play by Hogan. Greer steps up. Puck chipped up along the boards by Erickson. Dumped deep. Puck picked up deep in the zone as the Orioles look to clear. Good pressure here. Swanson picks up the puck in the neutral zone. Sorensen tries to get the puck over to Erickson. Erickson can't quite control it. Runyon brings it out of the zone, picked up by Erickson on the steal. Wraps it over to Willis. Willis fans on the shot, picked up by Runyon. Runyon turns, fires in front. Good pass by Runyon. We don't know the player number 36, as he's not on the roster here. But Runyon, good visibility, sees the puck. Great pass there to number 36 for the one-timer. Puts it right past Brand at 13:47 remaining here. Puck's dumped deep, all the way down. Brandt picks up the puck behind the net, wraps it around, intercepted by Herman. Over to Wacker, kicks it out with a skate into the slot area.
St. Louis Park goal.
Herman.
Number 36, Jack Malewski. With the assist, Jack Runyon. Malewski from Runyon at 13:47 of the third period.
Looks like Malewski is the goal scorer, number 36. A good assist there from Runyon. Herman versus course over to Young. Pinned up against the boards by Powell. Young comes away with the puck. Works his way across. Looks, stops. Reverses course. Trying to find the open man. Can't quite do so. Tries to connect with Wacker. Good pinch there by the Orioles to keep the puck in play in the offensive zone. Herman picks it up on the near side. Picked up by Molesky. Young. Ridden into the boards by Molesky. Young whacks it around over to Wacker. Still can't clear the zone. Molesky on the far side, on the near side. Takes a hit from Wacker. Steps up from the point. Shot high and wide. Orioles really putting that offensive pressure. The Hawks can't even clear the zone. Desperate need of a line change. Schwartz tries to clear the puck. Can't quite do so. Young picks it up. Wisely flips it all the way down. This will be icing. The Hawks were in desperate need of a line change here. The Hawks really needed to come out firing here in this third period. Instead, it's been St. Louis Park already on the board with 3 shots, 2 goals. Sorensen steps into the face-off circle opposite of Hagen. Sorensen removed. Picks up the puck after the face-off. Good saucer pass over to Tobin. Tobin's got it wide open, one-on-one, and he loses the puck on the way down. Very fortunate for St. Louis Park. Steps across Sormesgaard, dumps it in, rebound right there. Tobin tries to make amends. Can't quite connect. 2 good offensive opportunities here by the Hawks so far. Picked up by Sorensen. Sorensen back to Holman. Holman over to Sorensen. Sorensen turns, stops. Loses Powell. Sorensen flips it high. Glove down. But exited the zone. Orioles regroup and fire it back down. 11:25 remaining here in the third period. Hawks clear the zone. Return right back in kind by the Orioles. So they work the puck over to Willis. Willis up to Tobin. Tobin tries to center. Bouncing puck. Hawks really having a hard time getting out of their own zone. Good defensive pressure here. Swanson as he works his way towards the corner. Good body check there. But picked up by Erickson. Erickson in the slot. Saved by Wacker. Ultimately, the puck picked up by Newton as he turns. With speed, he's got Runyon. Good defensive effort there by Holman to steal Herman to steal the puck. Hogan turns, loses the player. Hogan with good speed works his way into the neutral zone. He's got Runyon on the far side, but Runyon will be offsides for a stoppage in play at 10:28 remaining here in the third period. Sean Bruss steps into the face-off circle with Cooper Swanson. Orioles maintain control in the neutral zone. Greer chips it out of the zone. Referee helps. Good stick lift there by Cooper Swanson. He's got Owen Sumstead cutting towards the slot, but tipped just behind him. Picked up by Hogan. Hogan centers the puck right out front. Herman over to Greer. Greer with the fires on net. Good save there by the goaltender. Puck battle on the far boards. Good effort there by Erickson to keep the puck deep. Forces it on the other side. Puck's chipped loose by Sean Bruss. Bruss has got Runyon on the far side. Bruss steps up, fires. Good save there by Nathan Brandt. With 9:42 remaining here in this third period. Shots 32 on net by the Orioles to 9 by the Hawks. Face-off controlled by the Orioles. Back to the point. Good stop there by Hyland. Hyland took it right off the laces. was a tough one for Highland to hurry up and jump. It looked like it hurt. Puck into the corner. Good play there by Young. Push the puck aside. Good body check there on Powell as Young and Powell dig for the puck. Schwartz comes away with it. Battle on the near boards. Puck chipped out right up front. Powell up to the slot. Malinsky fires it wide. Holman tries to chip it off the glass. Can't quite clear the puck. Malinsky picks it up. Over to the other D. Dumped down. Powell in the corner. Reverses course. To the point. Shots tipped wide. Puck's brought right out in front. It was a great play. Landon Powell with a great pass right out front. Great play there by Malinsky once again. Powell was picked up the puck behind the net. 8:39 remaining here in the third period.
Come on! Let's go, let's go!
Hagen steps in, wins the face-off. Hawks look to dump the puck deep. Hagen with a nice body check on Lucas Greer.
St. Louis Park goal from number 36, Jack Malashewski. Landon Powell.
Puck picked up into point. Shot on net. Brandt there with a save. Puck's chipped high and wide. Cleared by the zone. Marco Tobin steps around the defender. Tobin stops, looks for some help for Sorensen in the middle, and he shoots off the post. What a great place from Tobin to Sorensen. Sorensen puts it right off the post. Another point-blank shot by Tobin. Good save there by the Orioles goaltender. Two very close efforts there by the Hawks. Can't quite capitalize on it as they look to try to redeem a little bit of the scoreboard. As the Orioles have opened up this third period with 3 goals. Thormesgaard picks up the puck, reverses course to Sorensen. Picked up by Brust. Brust wraps it around to Hogan. Hogan tries to clear it past Willis. Can't quite do so. Shot right in front. Good save there by the goaltender. Thormesgaard was right on the doorstep. Just high. Couldn't quite tip it. Sorensen steps in the face-off circle with Brust. Brust comes away with the puck. Tries to clear it up to Hogan. Hogan chips it into the slot. Good defensive effort there by Holman to keep it in, but the Hawks are ultimately going to have to reset. Hogan steps up, steps side, steps, checked by Young. Holman picks it up. Sorensen picks it up for a nice 3-on-2 opportunity. Leaves the puck for Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard with the shot. Puck was loose, but a good save there by the Osseo goaltender. Recognized the loose puck, jumped on it for the stoppage and play with 7:20 remaining here in the third period. Swanson steps into the face-off circle with Malinsky. Back to Holman. Over to Erickson. Good pickup here by Powell. Young steps in the way of Powell. Powell centers the puck. Doesn't connect. Good intercept here by Sumstead. Chips it loose. Just can't quite get it past the defender. Good defensive effort there by Piper. Young picks up the puck. Dumps it out to the boards. Stop. Save. Shot. Piper as he turns it towards the net to Malinsky. Malinsky intercepted by Sumstead. Sumstead over to Erickson. Erickson turns. Looks for a centering pass. Can't quite connect through. Here's Fallness. Good defensive back check there by Cooper Swanson on Fallness. Fallness doesn't quite get the good shot off. Tyson Herman turns. Herman on the near boards. Clears the zone. Hawks need a line change. Puck's lost, fumbled in their own zone by Piper. Gieske picks it up in the corner, brings it out to Herman. Herman with the shot from the point. Stopped along the way by Sumstead. Picked up here by Hagen. Hagen tries to step around Herman. Herman does a fine defensive job to knock the puck off his stick. Puck chipped right out front. Shot on net, bouncing puck. Brandt there with the save. Tasto was there for a shot. Bouncing puck, but Brandt was there for the save with 5:42 remaining here in the third period. Gieske steps into the face-off circle with Cam Hagen. Gieske with the face-off win. Greer picks up the puck. Tries to connect with Wacker. Can't do so. Hawks clear the zone, controlled in neutral zone by the Orioles. Gieske with the intercept. Dumps it down. Picked up by James Newton as he works his way around. Good step up by Young to keep the puck in the zone. Fired from the point. Lost there in the second. Good save there by the netminder there for the Orioles. 5:12 remaining here in this third period. Gieske steps into the face-off circle opposite of Rust. Rust with the face-off win. Puck's wrapped around over to Hogan. Hogan picks it up on the near boards. Schwartz works his way over. Young. Hogan almost got past Young, but Young with a nice defensive effort chipped the puck free. Shot high over the net by Gieske. Rust picks up the point. Brings it out in the neutral zone. Here's Hogan. Steps across through the middle. Tries to work his way around Greer. Does so, but then there's Brandt there for a great save with 4:41 remaining here in the third period. Great individual effort there by Sully Hogan as he worked his way through the Chaska defenders. Getting a high-quality shot on net. Brandt there with a save. Malinsky steps into the face-off circle opposite of Sorensen. Sorensen with the face-off win, back to Willis. Willis over to Hallman. Hallman can't quite connect with Thormesgaard. Puck battle on the far boards. Orioles come away with it. Shot on net. Brandt steers it aside. Picked up behind the net by Willis. Willis tries to connect through the middle. Sorensen tries to connect with Tobin. Just out of the reach of Tobin. Good defensive effort there by the Orioles to pick up the puck. Thormesgaard sidesteps a check there. Pucks works around. Intercepted by Sorensen. Leaves a back pass for Tobin. Nice play. Tobin cuts. Gets tied up by Malinsky. Puck's wrapped through. Here's McCoy. McCoy with a shot on net. McCoy drives towards the net. Brandt there for a nice save with 3:47 remaining here in the third period.
Well, that called
Luke Sorensen steps into the face-off circle opposite of Cam Hagen. Hawks come away with the puck. Orioles pick it up in the neutral zone, dump it back deep. They stop. Good play by Herman. Hawks really struggling to get out of their own defensive zone. The Orioles providing good offensive pressure along the perimeter. Sorensen picks up the puck, long pass over to Thormesgaard, takes an unfortunate bounce right off the referee's skate, forcing Thormesgaard to stop at the blue line, fire off the shot. Nice save there by the goaltender. 3:15 remaining here in the third period. Orioles with a 6-1 lead. Cooper Swanson steps into the face-off circle opposite of Shane Bruss. Puck comes out to the point. Puck battle in the neutral zone. Brody Erickson turns, chips it free, can't get it out of the zone. Back into the corner. Tries to reverse it over to Herman. Puck's brought back deep, intercepted by Swanson. Dumps it in, works his way around the defender. Newton with a check in Swanson. Here's Sumstead. Tries to bring it out front. Erickson was open in the slot area. Couldn't quite connect on the pass. Here's Newton, brings it out of the corner. Clears the zone. Hawks look to regroup in the neutral zone. Willis brings it up. Over to Sumstead. Sumstead dumps it deep. Puck on the far side, picked up by Erickson. Young steps up to pinch. Orioles try to maintain control. They clear the zone all the way down. This will be icing with 2:06 remaining here in the third period. All Orioles. They've been significant offensive pressure here. Orioles wrap it around. Young on the far side keeps the puck in. Down to Colton Wacker, over to Gieske. Gieske chips it over to Schwartz. Puck battle on the near side. Orioles trying to chip it up and over Willis. Bouncing puck. Managed to clear the puck loose. Here's Powell. Young gets just enough of the puck to knock the puck off Powell's stick. Good follow-up effort there. 3 Hawks in the corner, though. Willis picks up the puck behind the net. Gieske goes through Wacker's stick, manages to clear the zone. Powell turns, fires it back into the zone, picked up by Gieske. Gieske back to Willis. Willis moves across the red line, looks into the zone with some speed. Turns, fires to Schwartz. Good pass. Willis picks it up in the corner. Tries to center it out front, bouncing puck. Puck picked up in the middle by Schwartz. Keeps the puck in the zone. The Orioles clear it. Here's Malinsky as he chips it down. Puck's deep in the corner. Herman. 45 seconds remaining here in the third period. Tyson Herman picks it up on the far side. Sidesteps a check. Sidesteps another check. Clears the zone out to Thormesgaard. Thormesgaard takes a check from behind. Loses the puck. Sorensen picks up the puck with 20 seconds remaining. Over to Herman. Herman turns. Puck picked up here on the near side. Out to the point. Fired from the point. Tipped into the front. Puck's loose. Hawks managed to clear it out. Thormesgaard out to Sorensen. Sorensen can't quite complete the saucer pass, and that'll end it. Final score, or St. Park Orioles 6, Chaska Hawks 1. 37 total shots on net by St. Louis Park. 31 saves for Nathan Brandt. On the opposite side, Hawks had 14 shots on net with 13 saves. It was all offense by the Orioles all third period. There were no penalties there in that third period, so good clean play back and forth. As a quick recap, St. Louis Park started the scoring at 9:02 remaining in the first period on a power play goal, followed up by Fallness, scored at 6:07 of the second period. 3:44 remaining in the second period. Hawks got their only goal with a shorthanded opportunity by Jacob Thormesgaard. Bergquist followed up at 2:42, about 58 seconds later. In the third period, Jack Runyon came out strong in the first 26 seconds, scoring for the Orioles. Followed up by 2 goals by Malinsky at 13:47 and 8:39 as a final summary of the score. Thank you for joining us tonight on Chaska Hawks JV. We'll see you next time.